we'll start with Pluto. So the first one up is Society Dog Show. This is still considered a Mickey short, even though Mickey is kind of like a secondary character. This is really a Pluto short more than anything. Yeah. It's short number 104 in the Mickey Mouse series. A couple notes before we begin. So the short is notable for being the last cartoon with Mickey's older design that we see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where he's got just the single dotted eyes and his face is like white, like plain white. From here on out, he's got the more like, I guess, realistic looking eyes with like pupils and everything.
Right.
And his skin, I guess you would call it, is tan as opposed to white.
Okay.
So this is the last one for that.
That's good, because I remember at one point when he was sitting on the stoop with Pluto.
This one.
Yeah.
He I thought he had his eyes closed, but they were open, and I was like, "What?" And like really threw me off.
Well, we'll get that cleared up for you now going forward.
Yeah.
With some realistic looking eyes.
We're getting some realistic pupils next episode.
And even though this is short 104 for Mickey Mouse, it's only the 100th appearance. So this is 100 for Mickey.
Really?
He's got 4 shorts they're mainly Donald shorts, but he didn't have his own series yet, so they're still considered Mickey Mouse shorts.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't really appear in them. So this is the 100th appearance for him as well. So Pluto, his romantic partner, interest, whatever you want to call her in this short.
Yeah.
Did they say her name at all?
No, but do you know her name?
No, but she was very cute.
She was
Is
so
it?
cute. Is it Fifi?
Very good. It is
know
Fifi.
that.
You know, she looks like a Fifi now that you say that.
It is Fifi. She's a Pekingese, and she appears in 3 other shorts before this one. We don't see them.
I was going to say, did we watch them?
No, we haven't seen her yet, but she appears in 3 other ones. The first being Puppy Love in 1933. And then in that short, she was introduced as Minnie's pet. So she's Minnie's dog.
That makes so much
So
more
then-
sense now with those toys that have the pets. And I'm like, why do all of these characters all of a sudden have pets? Like, Minnie doesn't have a pet, but she does.
So when
But we didn't see Minnie.
not in this
No.
short.
Yeah, but even
In the first one that she appears in, this
She
goes
was-
back to 1933.
But Mickey was with his pet. Why wasn't Minnie with her pet?
We just haven't seen them together yet.
But I think if you watch like the Minnie's Boutique, I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure
Yes,
she
yes.
has. She
Yeah.
has Fifi.
I've seen that, yeah.
I just thought they made her up. Like now.
Like
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
She
What do you
she
know?
starts out as Minnie's dog, and she would remain Minnie's pet until she was replaced in the 1950s.
Oh, so rude.
She was replaced by Figaro, which is that Figaro from Pinocchio.
Okay.
After the film came out and after it was done, they can design whatever they want, but they wanted to use Figaro more going forward, even after the film, so they decided to substitute Figaro in, and Figaro becomes Minnie's pet.
Wow.
You know, but cats are just so cute, so how could you blame them?
And she would remain missing from animation in Disney for 72 years.
Wow, that's
Until 2019, in the new Mickey Mouse short, she comes back, Yumi and Fifi.
Aww.
And so 72 years later, she finally comes back.
Well, that's
It's a
good.
long life for a dog. And I didn't watch the short, but the premise that I get is that she's a little ferocious in that one.
Like a diva.
Yeah.
Well, she's a small little yappy.
I mean, yeah, and she's at a dog show.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very classy dog show.
It was. There were dogs who owned dogs in the dog show.
yeah,
judged
and
by
all the
dogs.
dogs that work, all the people that work there were dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Mickey was the only one who wasn't a dog.
It was like humans having a human judging contest.
Wow.
Like a beauty pageant.
We
Well, if
kind
you
of
watch
watched
Squid
something
Game-
like that. Yeah.
I guess I should watch it. But yeah, I guess it was like a beauty pageant.
I looked up Minnie's that show,
Boutique.
and it's not a dog.
Oh,
it's a
it's
cat.
Figaro.
Okay.
I thought she had
Well, we
Fifi.
thought. We don't watch it religiously, so
Yeah.
But I know you and
anyone can make a mistake.
You mean you don't know the ins and outs of Minnie's Boutique?
I guess
We'll
not.
get to that. Don't know why.
We're gonna become experts.
Yeah.
Is
And-
Minnie's Boutique on here?
On Disney Plus?
No, like is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse like in our like? Are we gonna
No.
like, watch some of that?
Well, I thought we
No.
said no shows.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
because
okay.
if we do every TV show,
Yeah.
like we'll never get through. Because
Anything.
if it's a show that has like 5 seasons,
Yeah.
it's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
And we don't even do this on a weekly basis anyway, so
Yeah.
we won't make it through.
Fair enough. We'll be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Disney World.
Yeah. Damn.
And then just one more note for Pluto. This is the first appearance of him wearing his green collar, which is what he's going to wear for the rest.
Right.
He wears a green collar.
What did he wear before this? I don't think I took note.
Yeah,
It was
me either.
red.
Oh.
He had a red collar before
I
this.
feel like I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me either.
Even in the,
Okay.
the poster for this short,
Yeah.
he still got on his red collar,
Oh,
even
it's
though in the
black.
short it's green.
I like the green better.
I do too.
What do I know?
Yeah. What do you know?
I don't know anything. I thought it was black.
Society Dog Show is released on February 3rd, 1939. We've moved into 1939. We're almost out of the 30s. And by the end of this episode, we'll be out of the 30s. Wow. Rated TVG with a runtime on Disney Plus of 9 minutes and 6 seconds. It's directed by Bill Roberts, animation by Al Eutzer, Norman Ferguson, Seamus Culhan, and John Lounsbury. Seamus, yeah. Seamus. And then voice work by Walt Disney and Pinto Colvig. All right, the actual short. We open up outside a theater where our Society Dog Show is taking place. And this is where you see upper class sophisticated dogs with their upper class sophisticated pet dogs.
And their upper sophisticated cars with doors.
Yeah.
With their upper class sophisticated chauffeurs who are also dogs, opening the door for the dogs and their dogs to get out to go to the dog show.
Dog world.
Mickey and Pluto arrive, and they are not part of the upper class, clearly.
They're in Mickey's, like, jalopy over there.
It's like
bro, this is like a wagon that you push kids in. Like,
and he just parks it outside. There's no chauffeur. And it doesn't get valeted or anything. So
he can't reach the door.
The guy looks at it and he's like...
The chauffeur goes to reach for a door, but there's no door on this wagon because it's just a wood wagon that he might as well have, like, Flintstones himself there, just, like, paddled along. But he honks his horn at the chauffeur. The chauffeur calls him a riffraff as he leaves, which is very nice. Pluto and Mickey enter the theater, and they're immediately impressed by this theater. It's very classy and fancy, and the two observe other dogs getting pampered and sprayed with perfume to get ready for the show. I like how all the dogs get sprayed with perfume, branded perfume. Like on the bottle, it just says perfume. Yeah. No brand or anything like that.
They should have been clever and named it Wolfume.
Oh, good.
I would have liked that better.
If it was cats.
Yeah. Perfume and Wolfume. Get it?
Yep.
Sorry. Just made that up right now.
Do you see the dog with like 1 million suction cups like on his
face?
face?
Yeah. But I couldn't figure out what that was. But they're curling its hair?
I thought they were like massaging the tail or something.
It looks like maybe
modern day, you know, like Michael Phelps does the cupping.
The cupping.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, is it still getting cupped? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
dog's getting cupped. Yeah. So Mickey decides to groom Pluto his own way, which is just taking out a brush and just kind of like dusting him off.
So fancy.
Very dirty dog. Yeah. He also shines Pluto's nose so he can see his reflection in it, and he massages the top of his head with like that weird. I don't know what you would call that device thing that like went on his head and just kind of like vibrated on top of his head.
I don't know.
I assumed it's massaging it. I'm not really sure.
Oh, I thought it was like a buffer.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't know. I could figure out
Who knows what it was.
Well, he also sprays him with branded perfume.
A lot.
And, yeah, well, so much that Pluto sneezes. And he sends Mickey stumbling into his tools, his grooming tools, whatever you want to call them. And one of them goes under a table and escapes, so Mickey goes to look for it. And while Mickey is busy looking for his tool, Pluto notices Fifi.
Yep. Whose owner is missing.
Not even seen.
Like, completely missing.
That would be Minnie.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, we didn't see Minnie. Like,
maybe Minnie
how
was
come
under
Mickey
the table
brought
with Mickey?
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. We saw Mickey after that.
Well, that's very hypocritical because Mickey tells Pluto there's no time for women.
He was trying to like reel him back in.
It's just annoying because like there's so much that goes on with Pluto and Fifi, and it's like, well, where does this owner not care?
Yeah,
about watching your pet.
Yeah. Maybe she brought herself, entered herself. You
Maybe.
know?
Can you do that?
I don't know. Well, Pluto sees Fifi at the table next to his, and the two start flirting with each other. They give each other the eyes. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like literally what happened.
Yeah.
They just eyed.
Eyebrows raised.
Yeah, and then they look smushed faces.
Yeah.
They didn't even kiss.
They just like circle around the pillow.
Yeah, they were chasing each other. It's kind of cute.
They nuzzle.
I thought this one was cute. Yeah, they were so cute.
Fast forward now to the actual stage where the dog show is taking place. The dog judge, I don't think we ever get a name. He calls for dog number 13 to the stage, and number 13 happens to be Pluto. So Mickey hears the announcement. He goes to get Pluto, and he finds
canoodling.
Yeah, and this is where Mickey says, "There's no time for women. You got to get on stage."
Yep.
And Pluto doesn't really agree because he's trying.
Very distracted.
Yeah.
Poor Pluto.
I know. She's trying to get some.
Getting cock blocked over here by Mickey. Like, what the fuck?
The judge is growing impatient, and he demands for dog number 13 to come to the stage. And Mickey and Pluto, they confidently come on stage, and Pluto's distracted by like a microphone. So that's when like Mickey like yanks on his collar and he falls like face first like right into the judge's lap.
Yeah.
And he already gets off to like a bad start with the judge. This judge does not like Pluto very much.
No, poor Pluto.
No, he's not overly impressed. He sizes him up from head to toe. He looks in his mouth and stretches him out, and I think Pluto almost like bites him.
Yeah, Pluto's getting really agitated. And he's like, stop touching me. Leave me alone. You're poking, prodding, all kinds of crazy.
Yeah.
Mickey's trying. He's like, he's a good dog, I swear.
He just wants to be friends. Yeah. He's like viciously attacking him.
He won't bite. Rips his clothes off.
Well, eventually he falls over off the stand onto the judge, and this really pisses the judge off. I don't really think he's a dog person, despite being a dog himself and a dog judge.
He demands perfection.
Yeah, he calls him a mutt, and he...
I mean, technically he is a mutt.
He is, but I get the impression that, like...
Way.
I know,
being called a mutt in dog world is like...
It's like being called a mudblood in wizarding
Oh,
world.
yeah, exactly.
It's very offensive.
It is, but it's just funny to me because, like...
Yeah. Well, when he calls him a mutt, he also, like, gets a little, like, aggressive with him, and he starts, like, grabbing Pluto, trying to get him to, like, I guess... do what he wants him to do, which causes Pluto to growl at him. Mm-hmm. And he starts chasing the judge.
Yeah. And
the judge, he like runs up a pole or something to get away from Pluto. And he demands that Mickey and Pluto be thrown out immediately to get this riffraff out of here.
Get out. Right now.
And Pluto even bites his pants and rips them, I think, too.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last straw, where security then drags Mickey and Pluto out and boots them to the curb. Mm. And the two are sulking together on the curb by their wagon that's still sitting out front. Nobody moved it for them.
Yeah, it's just like upside down.
Yeah. And Mickey actually reassures Pluto that he's a better dog than anyone.
See, I thought Mickey was going to be mean. I thought he was going to be like, Pluto, you suck. You blew it. What happened?
No, he was actually very comforting of his dog. He sticks by his dog.
Yeah,
in this one.
In this one, yeah. And he's nicer to Pluto than Donald is later on.
Yeah.
Back inside, the announcer says that it's time for the final event, which is the trick portion of the dog show. And I guess getting booted out wasn't clear enough. Mickey's like, hey, you're a trick dog. You can get back in there. And
yeah, like, I don't know what he was thinking.
I don't...
Michael trying to crash Phyllis's wedding. I cannot let you crash, Michael. You are a real-life wedding crasher.
Well, his trick that he comes up with Pluto, he's going to take their wood wagon that they got there, and which I don't know how he planned on getting home, because that's the way they got there. But he's going to attach the wheels onto Pluto's feet, and I guess Pluto's going to skate.
Yeah, that's a good plan, yeah.
I don't think he's going to win this trick contest anyway. But all the other dogs, including Fifi, they're back inside, and they're all doing their tricks. They're doing, like, balancing on a ball and, like, juggling and all this.
On a unicycle. They were pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Stilt walkers, like...
Yeah. And there's a photographer there who's going to take a group picture of all of them. This I didn't get. So he gets them all to stop to take a picture. He takes said picture, and everything just catches on fire.
It's one of those old cameras.
Yeah, with the flash that was like actually like a flame.
This wasn't even like one thing caught on fire and the fire spread. He took a picture and just everything blew up onto flames.
True.
It was an exaggeration, but
yeah,
no kidding. So everything just goes up in flames and all the dogs scatter. But Fifi gets trapped underneath like a beam or something.
Yeah, and once again, where's Fifi's owner?
That's true. Just ran out there without her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Minnie, my girl. Really letting me down.
She really dropped the ball on this one.
You know what? Maybe Minnie Mouse adopted her after this because her owner just sucked, and maybe they called animal services on the owner because she let Fifi almost die in a fire.
Maybe.
That's not what Dan said. Dan said that we already know.
I know.
I wasn't going to call her out on that. I was going to let her feel better about that. But...
I think we need to down with Minnie after this.
I can't believe she would do that to her dog. That's all
Minnie's a little selfish. Yeah.
Ever since she got hung by the underwear and Steve's Willie, things really took a turn.
That's true.
She's like, I didn't ask for any of this.
That's her origin story.
Yeah, like, Mickey hooked me by my undies and swung me around in the air, and now I can't function like a normal person.
My world just opened.
That's called a trauma response.
Yes.
Oh.
All the dogs go racing out of the theater. They run by Pluto and Mickey, who Mickey's just trying to get Pluto back in.
Yeah.
He sees all these dogs run by. And he doesn't really put two and two together. Like, maybe we should leave too. I guess figures the field is much
But
more
then
smaller
Fifi
now.
calls out for help.
Yeah.
He does. Fifi starts barking for help, and Pluto hears it and immediately springs into action. He
rolls into action.
He rolls into action. He makes it inside, but Mickey doesn't. Mickey gets trapped outside, so it's just Pluto on his own here. The floor is falling out from underneath him. The walls are falling down,
And he's
crashing.
trying to skate. It's a whole mess.
Yeah, the whole building becomes like an obstacle course for Pluto. He's like skating on beams and jumping over here, twisting and flipping all around.
Tarzaning his way over.
Yeah, but he manages to get through the building, and he grabs Fifi, and the two try to escape. They eventually make their way to a window, and they just jump out the window, and they like break their fall on like a gutter that just like collapses, and they make it all the way down to the floor, to the street.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other dogs that ran out and were no help and just thought for themselves, they come with Mickey to celebrate with Pluto and Fifi, and the judge even awards Pluto this like giant ass medal.
And
It's
it's
heavy.
This
and
medal
it's
is
like,
huge.
But it's literally like one of those like participation prizes, you know?
Yeah,
Like
but-
it wasn't like you get the blue ribbon. It was like Medal of Bravery or
No,
something.
it
he
was
didn't
a
win.
hero. It was a hero.
yeah, it said
medal.
public hero number 1.
Yeah, like that's
Yeah,
not
don't make a mistake about it. He didn't win.
Yeah.
They did not give him the...
like you're still a mutt.
We thank you.
But thanks.
But we're going to have to give first place to...
Fifi wins.
And Pluto just looks absolutely miserable trying to carry this medal
Yeah,
around
he's
his
like,
neck.
I didn't even want this.
And the two dogs, they embrace, and we can only assume they kiss behind the giant medal. They pulled...
They embrace.
I don't know. They like nuzzled up against each other. They don't have hands. What do they...
They could-
How do dogs...
Just gotta start licking each other's
Yeah.
tongues.
Yeah.
They canoodle. It's cute.
They canoodle, and they kiss behind Pluto's giant-ass medal. And the short comes to an end.
Yeah.
The end reminded me of what was his name? Elmer?
Oh yeah.
Because he kind of like
Oh, Elmer.
the
Elephant.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he like saved the girl from the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "Oh, my hero!"
Yeah.
After like everyone was mean to him.
I thought you meant Elmer Fudd, and I was really confused.
Yeah.
Was that his name? I like had to like I was like, wait a second.
It was.
Is
Yeah,
that
it
who
was
he was?
Elmer.
Elmer the elephant.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
That was a good one.
It was.
It's a shame we won't see him again.
Oh.
Yeah,
Or Fifi.
Yeah.
not for 72 years.
Why was it called Society Dog Show?
I guess high
High
class
society.
society, high society.
Okay. That was my question.
It's the best answer I got.
I guess instead of saying like Winchester Dog Show, because it's not in a
Yeah.
specific place.
Yukonuba Dog Show.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that one was so cute. I don't know why.
It was
Anything
cute.
with like, I mean, I guess you can really argue that all of these mice, ducks, etc., can be pets, but like, I don't know, something about pets. Maybe it's the new cat mom and me. I just was like, oh,
So cute.
pets.
It was very cute.
I like
Yeah.
this one.
I liked it.
Next is the Ugly Duckling.
Yo,
Poor little dog. I just can't.
this one.
Yeah, this one.
But I was a little confused, but we can get to that at one point.
Okay. So this is a silly symphony, by the way.
But it
Oh,
didn't have any.
Which made sense
Did it?
because one thing that I just thought was so funny, I'm like, it's really impressive how they conveyed this whole story
Oh
with
yeah.
not one word.
Yeah.
If you had
Oh, yeah.
subtitles on, it's like angrily quacking,
I-
softly quacking,
Yeah.
happily
Oh,
quacking.
yeah.
I was like,
So just because there wasn't like any like music really, like
It's
it
there
still
is
was
music,
like,
but there's
it
no
wasn't
dialogue.
like right. But
Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like the other silly symphonies it was more like
Well, this one does.
the music was more
musicals,
noticeable.
kind
of- yeah.
yeah. This was more like background
Yes,
mood
yes.
music.
I even
Okay.
wrote something similar to that in my notes, where like if this had no audio and no music whatsoever, you could still tell what the story was.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought it was good.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a silly symphony. We haven't done one of these in a while, but this is the very last one.
oh, it is?
This is number 75, and we're officially done with silly symphonies.
Oh, I
were they
wish I
done
had
with
known
silly
that.
symphonies?
Yes, they're done too.
Good.
Like, there's not more that are missing. This is it.
I don't know much to say about those. I mean, I was surprised this was one because I usually don't like them.
Yeah,
I think
no.
they went out on a high note.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
the Silly Symphony's on a bang.
Yeah, this was a good one.
Well, this is actually a remake of a previous Silly Symphony. They already did the Ugly Duckling
Really?
back in 1931 as a Silly Symphony. It was number 25.
Did we see it?
No, we didn't see it. It's not on Disney Plus. But it's number 25. There's some differences between the two. This one's, I think, closer to the Hans Christian Andersen tale with how the story plays out.
Yeah.
The one in 1931, there's no male father duck at all. That we see like in the beginning here. There's no male father duck at all. The Ugly Duckling tries to fit in with a dog, a cow, and a frog.
I
Different
think I know this story.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ugly Duckling in that one actually saves his siblings from various falling debris from a tornado.
I probably know this story from like a book.
Yeah, because
That's the actual story.
And then also fun fact. Yeah. This story makes a little appearance in Lilo and Stitch.
I was just gonna get to that, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, but like you said, the Ugly Duckling shows up in 2002 in Lilo and Stitch.
Lost.
You want? Yeah. Lilo reads the story of the Ugly Duckling to Stitch, which ends up having a big effect on Stitch. Because he's then inspired to set out and find his real family as well, where he fits in. And like you were just saying, you get that scene where he's lost in like you wouldn't call them jungle woods or anything, whatever they got in Hawaii, whatever you call them. But
foliage.
The foliage, yeah. But he's looking for he looks down at the Ugly Duckling in the book who's crying and says that he's lost, and he also says I'm lost as well. Yeah. This one was received better by critics than their first attempt.
Okay.
This one, I think it translates better than the original one. It even goes on to win 1939 Oscar for Best Short Subject.
Wait, I thought you said we were going to be out of the 30s.
Yeah, after today.
Oh, okay.
All these ones are 1939, then the next one we do is 1939.
To be fair, you did say this one, meaning like...
Oh, I meant the next episode. I apologize.
The next
podcast.
Yeah, the
way you said it,
I thought it was
made
the
it
next
sound
short.
like... Yeah.
Well, I apologize.
It's okay.
You should.
I did.
Good.
Okay. So yeah, like I mentioned, this is the last Silly Symphony. Despite how I think we feel about it, I think it had ups and downs for us.
What, Silly Symphonies?
Yeah, as a whole, all these Silly Symphonies. It did prove to be successful for Walt, though. I mean, they dominated the 30s for the Academy Awards. They won the first 7 out of 8 awards for Best Animated Short Film, and the only one that was non-Silly Symphony was Ferdinand the Bull, which was also Disney.
Right.
So for the first 8 years, they dominate, and they just stopped doing Silly Symphonies, and that's when somebody else starts winning them.
Yeah, I wonder why they... do we know why they stopped?
Because you can credit Snow White for that. So Snow White did so well that they started to then turn their attention to films rather than just shorts. They're still going to make them, but they're also going to dedicate a lot of their time to to films going forward that we're going to see.
Right.
The only other series that even comes close to this kind of streak is Tom and Jerry in the 40s and 50s, and even then it was, I think Disney dominated a little better. And it also influenced a lot of cartoons going forward. Looney Tunes had their own set where they were called Merry Melodies.
Yes.
Oh.
And that's where we get the What's Opera doc.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's the same kind of thing. It's mostly music with some dialogue.
Yeah.
But that's where that comes from. And Universal also had theirs as well, called Swing Symphonies. Same kind of thing. Yeah. From here on out, Disney does occasionally make a few one-off shorts similar to the Silly Symphonies. But they're mostly done doing these kind of stuff. And even then, they have narration by Sterling Holiday, who does a million Disney voices, different characters. Released April 7th, 1939. Rated TV Y7 with a runtime on Disney Plus of 8 minutes and 59 seconds. Directed by Jack Cutting, Clyde Geronimi, and animated by Milt Kahl, Eric Lawson, Milt Neal, Stan Quackenbush, which I think that's intentional. Archie Robin, Paul Satterfield, and Riley Thompson. Voice work, just Clarence Nash, who does all the duck noises.
Yeah, like what voice work?
Well, he's Donald, so he also does the honks and quacks in this one as well. Exactly.
Those honks were getting me. I was like, whoa, that's a honk.
All right, we open up with a Papa Duck pacing back and forth nervously. Mama Duck sits in her nest, nervous.
And she looks really, just over it.
I had no idea what was going on here at first. I thought they were waiting for, a duck to come home. I thought maybe a duck was lost, because, he's pacing, but she's just kind of bored than anything.
Really?
She's just kind of sitting there.
I knew exactly what...
I knew what was going on, too.
You think it's just a motherly woman thing?
Maybe. Well, I think, the dad pacing around is, a very...
That's true. I should have put that, too.
Yeah. He paced so long that he, was underground.
Yeah. And she's also not going through childbirth, obviously.
No,
she
she's just
laid
sitting
eggs,
on
so
the
she's
eggs.
just sitting on eggs. But she's waiting for her eggs to hatch, and she's due at any moment. Papa Duck holds her hand, and I assume reassures her it's going to be okay. He just kind of like quacks at her.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Unlike Donald Shorts, there's no dialogue spoken through quacks here. Like Donald, you can at least kind of pick out what he's saying.
Yeah.
He's just quacking at her. Yeah.
Did you guys have your subtitles on?
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
translate the quacks.
Yeah, it didn't for me either. It just said
Quack.
yeah,
Quack.
it just said quacking.
I was like, oh, true. Quack. The male duck has been pacing back and forth for so long that he's actually like dug a trench for himself in the
Yeah.
ground from walking back and forth. Just then, baby quacks emerge, and Mama Duck has 4 eggs hatched with 4 baby ducks inside. And Papa Duck could not be more excited to
He
welcome
is
his.
pumped.
He grabs them all and is kissing them all. He even kisses one of them on the butt accidentally. And he even goes over and kisses Mama Duck as well for a job well done.
Yeah. As it should be.
Yeah. And then-
Dan's like, no pressure.
well, then things kind of take a turn.
Yeah, they do.
There's one last egg to hatch, and it starts
Which,
to
by
hatch.
the way, do they not know how to count? Did they not know how many
I
eggs
know.
there were?
Like,
Maybe
why was
this
it a
just one just
surprise?
shot out and ready to go right now. I don't know. I'm not
Well,
a duck. I don't know how this works.
I'm not to spoil it yet, but
Yeah, go for it.
maybe like an egg, maybe
Yeah.
the egg, because
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what they were trying to say by the end, but I
Yeah.
couldn't
Okay.
figure it out. But there's one more egg that pops out, and 2 little feet pop out. And unlike the other yellow baby ducks, this one's all white. And instead of quacking, it honks. Yeah, like that. If you could just pepper that in every now and then. Yeah.
He was so cute.
I'm not sure why this duck is considered ugly.
Well, that's what
I
I
was
said.
trying to figure out the
I
same
was-
thing.
I
I
was
was like, is it because its beak is a little bigger, or it's like,
I assume it's because
Feet
Yeah,
are a little
I
bit
was like, is it? This
I
is not
s-
an ugly.
is it just because it's
Duck.
different that's ugly to them?
Papa and Mama Duck are initially stunned speechless by the ugly duckling until Papa Duck starts shaking in anger.
He was like, "Listen, what did you do?
Yeah.
You damn slut! You unfaithful hoe!
Believe in you."
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah, I mean, none of those words were said.
Yeah.
But it just, the caption just
Oh,
said,
this is
angrily quack.
yeah,
This
and
is-
like he was like calling her by her maiden duck name,
Yeah.
like all the things.
the insinuation here is very obvious. There's
Yeah.
no misunderstanding.
And
what's
she's
going
like,
on.
What?
Yeah,
Me?
she's
Yeah.
yelling back at him.
Yeah, she's like, excuse me.
Yeah.
The fuck.
But don't, like, maybe I understand egg reproduction, chicken, ducks, whatever, not the right way. But what I thought happened was that the mom lays eggs and then the dad fertilizes the eggs. Is that not what happens?
No, that is not what happens.
No.
Some species, not birds, but some other species of animals do
So
that.
then what do? They like have sex?
Yeah.
Yeah, birds.
Bird
And then
sex.
she drops out the eggs and sits on them till they hatch?
Yes,
But they're already, like,
fertilized.
Yeah.
okay.
That's why, like, you can eat chicken eggs that are not fertilized because, like, there was no sex.
Keep that out of my eggs.
Keep your penis out of my
Yeah.
eggs, Mr.
So,
Duck.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
I thought maybe
yeah.
it was the milkman's duck because he's all white. That one I actually wrote down. The other one I didn't.
Oh my god.
Well, regardless, he wants an explanation from Mama Duck. But Mom,
She just really doesn't know.
she's
what to
confused
say.
as him. She doesn't know.
Yeah.
The two begin to argue with each other, and clearly Papa Duck says something pretty insulting
Yeah.
because Mama Duck just rears back and just slaps him in the head.
Yeah. Yo, but then he just like bounces.
He says, "Hey, yo, fuck this," and
Yeah,
he's out of
he's
here.
like, I'm a dip. I'm a head out. Like,
Okay,
He
well,
walks
I'll
away.
give
My
multiple
duck support.
babies.
Yeah.
yeah,
He
like
walks
what the
away.
fuck?
He-
What kind of piece of shit? He's the real shitty one.
He
like,
flat out abandons his children and now a single mother and goes off to another town to get some cigarettes and start his whole life over again.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Typical.
this new
Typical man duck.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Dan's
It's
like,
a-
yeah.
It's a big problem.
Giving us a bad rap.
It's a big problem in the duck community. You see this all the time: broken homes, broken children.
And what's funny about it is that ducks actually do mate for life. So
Not
like,
these two.
I know. So this is like a big deal.
So the newly single mother duck hops in the water with all her little baby ducklings, and the ugly duckling follows them from behind, bringing up the rear.
Yeah.
And they all climb onto her back, and they quack with her. but the ugly duckling doesn't quack. He honks. So now
and they're like mad that he followed.
Well, I see. This is where the real heartbreak comes because I thought maybe Mama Duck was like, all right, he looks funny, but he's mine.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
She's like, no, you are not mine. Fuck out of here.
She's like, you
That
ruined
was
my
so
marriage.
mean.
Like, get out of here.
You just hatched that little guy, and you're just ready to just send a package.
She flicks him off her butt.
It was so mean.
I
Her
know.
tail feather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Shaky
just-
tail feather.
Yeah, she shook him right off that tail feather.
Yes, she did.
It was really sad.
Well, what's
so
even
sad.
sadder is that the ugly duckling doesn't really understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So he keeps swimming up behind them, like to try to
Yeah.
catch up, thinking like, "Oh, I fell off. I gotta go catch up with mom."
Like, wait, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mama Duck sees he's still following, and she just flips out at him. She turns around and just starts like quacking at him, and
Yeah.
like shoos him back into the water,
Yep.
and that's it. They all just leave without
I
him.
know, it's so mean. Like, what the fuck? He's just a baby.
They leave him
It's
there,
terrible.
with child
It's so sad.
abandonment. And...
He was sad too, right?
I know.
I feel like he started crying.
Well, this is
Yeah.
when he realizes because he looks into the reflection of the
Mhm.
water, and I guess he now realizes that he's ugly.
Well, I think he
It's like-
realizes that he does not look like them.
I hope my ugliness
'Cause, like,
doesn't bother you.
Yeah, because he could see them and they're yellow and whatever, and like then he looks in the mirror and in the reflection he's like, oh shit, I'm white.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize that at first.
The ugly duckling was so ugly that everyone died. The end.
Poor thing. Poor little thing. He can't help it.
No, and he begins to cry and walks away all on his own to set out into this cruel, unforgiving world by himself.
You're gonna make Hillary cry.
This is incredibly sad. This is a fucked up one. I'm a little upset that we watched this one. As he's walking along, he hears chirps from up above, and there's a nest full of baby birds.
And he thinks this is perfect.
And he thinks he's found a new home.
Looked like welcoming.
They were, they were
but
fine
then-
with him.
But like, why did he think?
They didn't find him ugly.
No, but it's just like, you're not one of them either.
I know.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you know what you look
Well,
like.
He's
he's
desperate
just
for
wanting to
anything.
find, like anything. Like he doesn't care. Like he's just like, someone take me in.
Yeah.
I'm a
Well-
baby. It's so
It
sad.
is sad.
Well, he thinks he's found a new home. And then Mama Bird comes home with a worm to feed her babies. And she's startled by the ugly duckling. And she chases him out of the nest and back into the water and like just flaps her wings at him. Like, get out of here, get out of here. It's here where the ugly duckling bumps into a giant fake wooden duck buoy.
Oh, and
This
this
was
is
so
like the
pathetic.
saddest thing ever.
Oh my god, I was watching and I was like, no. Oh no. Oh no.
I know.
No.
It's awful.
So it's a giant wooden buoy that looks like a duck. And it's just bobbing in the water back and forth. He thinks it's real.
He got so excited.
Yeah.
He
He
was
immediately
like,
bonded
you were
with it.
different too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he hops on the buoy's back and even nuzzles up on the beak, thinking,
Yeah.
before jumping in the water. But because it's a buoy and it rocks back and forth, when he jumps in the water, it tips so much that it rocks too hard forward and it bops him on the head
Yeah.
with the beak. And he thinks he's being attacked by
Yeah.
this.
Oh.
So he runs away thinking that this one doesn't want him either.
And then he turns around and it like swayed in the water.
Yeah, from the motion
with
of the water.
With its back was to
Yeah.
him, and he was like, "Oh shit, okay, never mind."
So all alone again, the ugly duckling begins to honk and cry.
Sob and honk.
Can you cry and honk?
Good job.
Thanks.
Perfect. But there's hope because Mama Swan and her babies are swimming towards him to see what's wrong.
Yeah, he starts to. They hear him honking,
Yeah,
and they're all like,
well, the babies hear him first, and they all go up to him and they show him that we honk too.
yeah.
So they all just start honking together. And the ugly duckling bonds with them, and Mama Swan calls them all back
Yeah,
by honking.
But
So
he doesn't go.
no, he thinks that she's just calling all of them back, but not him. So he starts to swim away, but Mama Swan catches up to him and kind of like takes him under her wing
Yeah.
and embraces.
Yeah.
And it finally works. He's found his new
And
mom
she's like,
and
she's
siblings.
like, I love you. You're one of us. And he's like, oh. And
We're
then,
all ugly here.
and then, well, first of all, okay, wait. So swans in real life are actually really fucking mean.
Yeah, you said this.
Just-
But they're not ugly.
No, they're not.
beautiful.
They are beautiful.
So it's like, why are they?
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, continue.
But they are really mean, and I've been chased by swans.
Oh,
and
She
no.
has. I've seen it.
Yeah, and they're really mean. But anyway, so I'm surprised that they took him in. But like then the mother duck
Yeah, so
sees
this is
him,
the best
she's
part.
like, and they're all like, quack, 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 come here, and he's like, honk you, you know, like,
Yeah.
And good for him.
He said, "Hey, fuck you! I got a new mom and friends. Bye."
yeah, like what? Like you just ditched him for a day, and now you're like, oh,
Just kidding, we miss you, come back.
Yeah.
What about mind games? Are you sure she's not the dead?
Seriously.
Damn.
Yeah, we never find out what happens to the dad.
Yeah.
Oh, he just left.
Yeah.
But like, so clearly,
Start a new life.
like the egg, like what you were saying earlier, the egg like accidentally made it into the duck's nest. Like it's clearly not like
But
the
I feel
duck's egg.
yeah,
you know what
no,
I mean?
like that makes sense because it's not even like, oh, he's just white and the swan babies are white also. Like he looks exactly like the swan
It is
babies.
the same.
Yeah,
exact
he is.
swan.
Yeah.
So like the swan must have lost an egg
Yeah.
somehow. Like I don't know how that shit happens, but
I feel like they should have maybe made it a little more obvious.
like switched at birth kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
I was still
Hospital,
that was
like,
the part that was confusing to me. I was like, how? You
Yeah.
know? Whatever.
maybe their nests were really close together. I don't know.
Wow, I like this one. I think it was my
Okay.
favorite out of all. It had
It was
everything I
cute,
wanted
yeah.
in a Disney short. Had vanity, adultery, child
Oh my
abandonment,
God.
social judgment.
Oh my goodness.
I hope we get more of this going.
It was so cute, but like also so incredibly heartbreaking. And I was
Yeah.
just like,
But the end was
Yeah.
happy.
wait, is this the start of the Disney legacy of only one parent?
This is where it all began.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't say otherwise. Who can say?
Who can say?
Seriously though, I thought this was a good way to end these silly symphonies. I thought this was the
too.
best
Yeah.
out of all of them that we watched so far. I kind of like I was saying, like without any music and just in complete silence, you still get the story that's going on, and it still evokes the same kind of emotion.
Just a
Yeah,
quack.
you just missed the quacks. Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, that was a cute one.
Next is Donald Duck in The Hockey Champ.
This one sucked.
Well, there's not even really much to say about this one background-wise. I'll just do it real quick. There's only one thing really to note censorship-wise. After its initial airing for a lot of years and years to come, they took out the scene where Donald gets all tangled up in the rope because he ends up in a noose. And they thought, I guess it might have been, like kind of towards the end. They kind of thought that would be a little maybe scary for children.
So I thought it would be okay to say I'm gonna smack you.
Yeah, not on Disney Plus though. They're like, yeah, throw him back in there. Put him back in the news. That's fine.
We don't care.
Yeah,
We don't care.
he's gone through worse. You had something you want to say about this short?
It sucked.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was it.
Okay, I agree. Well, let's just get through it then. Released April 28th, 1939.
Wait, what was the Ugly Duckling?
The date?
Yeah,
And was making me scroll.
April something.
April 7th.
And this one is April.
April 28th.
Wow, they're just banging them out. 2
Yeah.
weeks later.
Rated TVG with a runtime on Disney Plus of 8 minutes and 40 seconds. Directed by Jack King. Animation by Paul Allen, Johnny Cannon, and Jim Carmichael, and voice work by Clarence Nash. So we open up with Donald skating on a frozen pond. It's actually pretty good.
As like
Yeah.
a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well,
like drag.
he ends up saying that's true. He ends up saying after his skating routine, he sticks the landing, and he says, "Who is this?"
Yeah. What?
Anyone know what that is?
No.
I'm assuming she's some kind of figure skater from
Well,
that time,
That'd
but
be a good guess. She is a Norwegian figure skater and a 3-time Olympic champion in 1928, 32, and 36, which is all before the short. So I guess she was very well known at that time.
Yeah, kind of like Tanya Harding.
Yeah, and Tanya Harding was
Well,
just
she is notorious. She's.
yeah.
Well, Tanya Harding, yeah, but
I don't think of her as a figure skater anymore.
I do, but okay.
How about like Christy Yamaguchi?
Okay, yeah, her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
She doesn't have any, what's
wasn't
the word,
there-
scandals.
There was another girl that was really big. Was it Sasha Cohen?
Oh, that name sounds familiar.
Was she a big figure skater?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
Hey
know.
Siri,
You got my
Mhm.
Siri.
who is Sasha Cohen?
Alexandra Pauline Sasha Cohen is a retired American figure skater.
Good job.
She is the 2006 Olympic silver medalist, a 3-time World Championship medalist,
Ah.
the 2003 Grand Prix final champion, and the 2006 U.S. champion. Want to
Sil-
hear more?
No, bitch.
silver medalist.
I'm so sick
Okay,
of this
so-
Siri because when I ask her questions, all she says is, "Would you like to view this link?" But when you ask her a question, she reads you a fucking essay.
For you, she's like, I found this. You want
Yeah,
it?
she's like, "Want to take a gander?" Like, no, bitch. That's what I pay you the big bucks for. Just kidding.
She's also 10-time world champion. She's won.
Siri?
Yeah.
No, the lady that's
I know.
She's won more Olympic and world titles than any other women's figure skater to this day.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So,
Good for
Put some
her.
respect on her name.
Okay.
Before you just dismiss her like
Go
that.
ahead, say her name again.
I think it's
Pineapple.
Excuse me, what's her name, Dan?
Sanja.
Yeah.
All right. Heine.
Wait. How do you spell her
Hein.
name?
Hein.
How did Donald say it in the short?
He quacked.
I don't know if he says
No, he
anything.
really does. He said it because it came up in my.
I really should look up how to pronounce these.
Yeah, I
words
wonder if
before
I wonder if
do
her
this.
first name is pronounced like Sonia or Sonia or
Yeah.
something instead of.
Yeah,
I don't really
not
know,
Sanja.
but
it could be Sonia.
Sonia.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And it's spelled Heine.
No. Oh, her last name?
H-E-I.
H-E-N-E-I. No, H-E-N-I-E.
Norwegian figure
Henny?
skater.
Henny?
Maybe.
I'm gonna listen to how Donald says it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
what
does say
that-
Sonia.
I don't know if I want to splice in that or that every time.
I don't know. But it is
Every
not
time.
Heine.
I see your
Whatever.
honey. It's nice and shiny.
She's from the 20s anyway.
Oh wow, the glittering rise
show
and
some
fall of
respect.
Sonia, whatever her last name is, ice skating's original queen. I'll have to read that later. I love scandalous behavior.
Oh, so she does have a scandal
Oh,
there. See,
she was in films too, I noticed. Nothing that I've ever
I don't know,
kind
it
of
doesn't
film?
say,
Not
but
those
if she
films.
rose and fall, that leads
Mm.
us to believe that.
Oh.
So maybe she's not so different from Tanya.
Why can't these figure skaters just like...
Yeah, just
Skate.
skating.
Just
skate
skate.
and go home. Then do the same thing in the next 4 years in the Olympics. Like, just
Yeah.
move on. Fuck.
Well, anyway, Donald continues to skate around and he does more tricks and he's twirling and dancing around until he's interrupted by the three little pigs reincarnated. It's
I love Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
these three are really getting on my nerves.
I love
Although
them.
not-
I've seen them like once so far.
Yeah.
not,
really.
not this week though, only because like I feel like Donald really had it coming in both all these shorts. Like he was
Yeah,
a real
I agree.
asshole.
He was a
These-
dick in this one.
Yeah.
He really was.
You're like, Uncle Donald, you're a little fuck.
Yeah.
You're not the I
You're
wouldn't
not
want
the
to have
cool
you as my
Yeah,
uncle.
Uncle
Yeah.
Donnie over here
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
all crazy.
they're playing hockey and like all right, they're kind of in his way a little bit, but they're just playing hockey, minding their
Well,
own
they're
business.
roughhousing. They're just playing.
Yeah, they're just swinging sticks violently. They're just trying to kill
Yeah,
this puck.
because
Yeah.
they're kids.
Still no red, green, and blue for Huey, Dewey, and
Yeah.
Louie. It's red, yellow, and green this
Yeah.
time around.
Yep.
Donald proceeds to laugh at them and mock his like what
Wait a minute.
7-year-old nephews for their hockey abilities.
Isn't red, yellow, and green what their colors are now?
No, it's
No.
red, green, and blue.
It was
Because-
red, orange, and yellow for the first appearance. Because it was the first
Okay,
3 colors. of
but
the
they're
rainbow.
not. But their colors now are
Red, green, and blue.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Can I see? Can someone show me a picture?
Unless this could be old. I don't know what to really type into.
Yeah, look at these two. This is newer, and this is like during the 90s.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought
And
the
all
yellow.
throughout the
I thought
years.
red, yellow, and green was accurate.
When I saw the yellow and the orange, I was like,
Yeah, that was like.
something's off.
Why did they
Yeah.
ever think that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Well, you know why I think that in my head red, yellow, and green is like right? Because I had a book as a kid where they were in it and they were in red, yellow, and green in the book. So like I grew up reading the book thinking like that was
Yeah.
their right colors, but I guess not.
No,
I just remember newer ones. I know there's blue in
Okay.
newer ones, so and I know there's red.
they got like the Alvin and the Chipmunks color scheme.
Yeah.
I still don't know who is who.
Huey is red, Dewey is blue, Louie
Louie's
is
green.
green.
I want to click on this thing that says Huey, Dewey, and Louie real names. I don't know what that means, but I want to see.
Hubert.
Hubert, Dubert,
And Lubert, yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
No
Hubert,
way.
Hubert Duck. Well, you got one of them right.
Oh,
Duford Dingus Duck. And
dingus.
I don't even know how to say this. Llewellyn.
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 And Llewellyn Duck.
Well, it's Llewellyn.
Llewellyn.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a feminine, girly name.
It does.
Maybe they were hoping for one of the three to be a girl.
It couldn't have just
Maybe
been
one
Louis.
is a girl.
Yeah, I guess they never really like.
Speaking of weird names, anyone know Donald's middle name?
I actually do, but now I can't remember because you asked me.
Fauntleroy.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Donald Fauntleroy Duck.
Yeah. Why do they Who's coming up with these names?
I agree.
Mortimer Fauntleroy.
Who's picking these names?
Seriously.
Anyway.
And like, why are they like the most obscure names?
Mm-hmm.
Who can say? Oh, they end up hitting the puck at Donald. I'm moving on. I don't care about these duck names anymore.
Okay.
They end up hitting the puck at Donald, who ducks, and ricochets off a tree and hits back into the boys, sending them into the goalie net. And Donald mocks him some more. He picks up the puck and tells them, "This is supposed to go into the net, not you."
Dick.
He really is.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
asshole, just laughing at him. The trio asked Donald what he could possibly know about playing hockey. I guess they saw him playing figure skating and figured he knew nothing about hockey. He, of course, pulls out from his shirt this collapsible, portable, giant, like, trophy.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
it's-
cup.
Yeah, it
Like
says
the
Hockey
hockey cup.
Champion of Duck Swamp on it.
Does he just carry that around with him everywhere, you think?
Yup.
Is
I
it
gotta
like,
show this off.
Is it like a 40-year-old virgin where he just walks around with a fake ear
Yeah.
and a big coin in his
Oh,
pocket?
wait. So that means you walk around with a fake ear and a big giant coin in your pocket. Yeah, pretty much 90%.
So Donald just walks around with a giant collapsible cup.
Why not? If you're thirsty.
Yeah. Donald then decides...
I like how he just ignores me.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yep.
Donald then decides to challenge the boys to a 3-on-1 hockey game, which they accept. It's face-off, and Donald quickly just takes the puck away from them.
He doesn't show them any mercy.
No, he
Yeah.
doesn't do the whole
Which-
cute uncle thing where you you let your nephews
Which,
win.
by the way, I am a fan of. I don't
Yeah.
think you should let kids win.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah,
No.
but give them a
Square
shot. Let them try.
And
Because,
then
knock it out of the
you
way.
can
get
still
the
win,
shit outta
but
here.
don't
Yeah, I don't, but I am not a fan of letting kids win just because they're kids.
Oh no, me too.
Because I think that's too bad.
Get
Learn.
better.
Yeah.
Get good.
And also with things like sports, with hockey, he has more experience than them. Obviously he's gonna beat them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the real world. Nobody lets you win.
Yeah.
Gotta teach him early. Donald quickly, he skates circles around them. He fires the puck all around the ice. He's passing it to himself. And then he finally just shoots and he scores. Just like that.
Slap shot.
And he continues to mock them. And he flat out just says, "You guys are awful."
Yeah.
They didn't even do anything.
I know.
He just took the puck and just left with it.
Yep.
Donald ups the antes now, though, and he declares that he'll do it again.
Blindfolded.
Exactly. So,
But also, wait, can we just point out, this is a question I had. Why are they using field hockey sticks?
I didn't even notice.
Oh,
I
I
wouldn't
thought
know
they
the
were
difference
hockey-
between
I thought they were
They
hockey
look
sticks.
like field hockey sticks.
yeah,
to
they
me.
kind of do, and I guess they just figured it was close enough. But yeah, it doesn't really look
Blame
like
it
hockey
on poor
stick.
animation. Was field hockey even a sport at this
I
time?
They didn't even
know.
do their research what hockey sticks look like. While Donald is blindfolding himself, the boys hatch a plan before face-off where they take the puck away
Mhm.
without Donald knowing. And they just play keep away from Donald as he's trying to get the puck back.
He kind of deserved it.
Yeah, he
He
deserves
did.
everything going forward.
Yeah.
They're playing tricks on him. They're over here. They're over there. He sees their reflection in this giant wall of ice.
Yeah.
It's like the from Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
the trick on the raptors,
Yep.
where he sees the reflection. He just crashes headfirst into it.
Yep.
Eventually, the game goes from the ice into snowbanks. They're playing under the snow, and their sticks are their sight to see where
Yeah.
they're going. He chases them through the snowbanks. They're not able to see where they're going. The two, I don't know which two of the ducks lead Donald to a well that's buried in snow,
Mm-hmm.
and Donald doesn't see it come, so he just crashes into the well and falls
Wow,
down.
you remember this one really well. I don't remember any of this.
Oh, I remember the well because I was came out of the well. I'm like, how is he stuck in the ice? Did it freeze that quick?
It wasn't frozen until he put his
Until
ass
he
in there,
fell in it.
and
yeah.
then it froze on him.
yeah.
This is where he pulls himself out, and the rope gets wrapped around his neck. You don't remember Donald getting hung?
No.
Yeah. Well, he hangs himself by the noose. And
That's terrible.
that's
I
it.
don't
That's
remember.
it.
I don't remember that. It wasn't a noose. It was he was in a cage made
That's
out of a
later.
rope.
That's at the end.
Oh.
This is when he pulls himself out of the well. The rope gets stuck around his neck as a hangman's noose.
Oh.
He continues to chase the boys. They're still going all throughout the snow. one of them actually grabs Donald's like scarf, which causes him to like spin like a top.
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah, and he crashes into a tree. Icicles fall on his head.
Yep.
And they call him the devil because he looks like the devil.
Yeah. Wait, but this was we passed this part then because I remember this happened after. Didn't Donald say that he was gonna slap him?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he came out of the well, he said he was gonna like spank them or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, Donald.
Good luck.
Nice.
Where are these kids' parents?
What's I looked
Donald's
this up
sibling.
at one point. Donald's
It's his sister, right?
Yeah. It's
Well, she's not a very active mother.
Yeah, I was gonna say they must not love those kids because they're leaving him with Donald.
Yep.
All three of them with Donald.
Della Duck.
What's her problem?
She's trying to get away from these damn kids.
I guess so.
She has 3 boys.
Yeah, that's our problem.
Triplets.
Oof. Are they triplets or are they just brothers?
They look to be about the same age.
I always
thought they
assumed
were
they were
triplets.
triplets.
Yeah.
Which is possible because ducks hatch from eggs, so
That's true.
it's more
As
likely.
we
As
saw
we
in the
learned.
last, yeah.
Yep.
Maybe their parents abandoned them too. That's why we
Maybe
never
they
see
have
them.
a long lost step swan brother.
And
Maybe.
Donald took them in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they repay him.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho.
But he's like the evil step uncle, even though he's not a step uncle.
He's like
no,
the
he is.
Dursleys.
Yeah, he's kind of like a little bit douchey, but to each their own with their parenting style.
I know you said a little bit douchey, but it sounded like a little badouchey, which I think is a good phrase.
He's a badouchey.
Hey, yo. A little badouchi over there.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah, right. Just throw it into everyday conversation.
Yeah,
A little badouchi. I'm a little badouchi today.
The abuse continues as
Of course it does.
they slapshot the puck at Donald, who this time accidentally swallows it into his stomach.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
coming back.
so unrealistic.
Well, they need to get the puck. So the boys chase after Donald, and he begs for them to stop because
Wait, but did anyone have the same thought as me when he swallowed it and then he, like, the boys were, like, coming after him to get the puck and he, like, looked at his butt?
Mm-hmm.
And
He's
I
trying
was
to
like,
shit it out.
is he expecting, like, it to come out of his asshole?
he just
anyone
squatted
else-
real quick. Come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
come on.
Is anyone else, like, think that
Yeah.
he was thinking that?
Yep.
Okay. Didn't happen, thankfully.
Well, they chase after him, and they keep whacking him on the ass to try to get the puck out until they send him flying into the goalie net, and now they've scored. The goalie net then turns into a bird cage, which Donald is trapped
okay.
inside, and as all these shorts end, he
just ends.
angrily quacks as the boys laugh, and that's it.
Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just ended.
Well, like I said, like I don't really like these shorts all that much. They just feel the same. You know,
Yeah.
at least in Mickey shorts, there's some kind of story going on. In like this one, they're playing hockey, and it's 10 minutes of Donald just getting abused.
Well, yeah, that's annoying, and also, like, it's just predictable, like, the way that it's gonna go.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, I also just feel like, what's the point of this story? It kind of just ended. There was no resolution to
Yeah.
anything.
They remind me a lot of the way that like Tom and Jerry shorts are, where it's
Yeah.
just like Jerry torments Tom
I
for
think
like
it's supposed to just be purely entertaining.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's I guess 80, 90 years later reviewing it like this, they
Mhm.
probably didn't have that in mind
Yeah.
when they were making these shorts, but
They didn't think they needed to give it a purpose.
yeah, they
Yeah,
just get
fair.
very
Yeah.
repetitive.
But I thought I kind of liked that one because I was like, yeah, fuck you, Donald.
Oh, Donald deserves everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dick. They're like 7. And he's
Are
like
they even 7?
if
I
that,
always
and he's
think
like,
it's-
you guys suck.
I have like a soft spot for like mischievous children that like are always getting into trouble and like kind of being like
You and Michael.
naughty. Yeah,
We
yeah.
had this disagreement
Oh my
last
God.
time.
And like so like I feel like I think it's like and that like makes I'm like haha like I don't know like yeah good for you kid like I don't know I just like I think it's funny.
I hope your kids are like that.
They're gonna be the worst. I'm gonna have to ship them to boarding school, but it's fine.
Oh my god.
Is the next one the one that had the disclaimer at the beginning?
Our
Yes.
very first disclaimer warning message of this
And I was so
podcast.
blind. It was so tinily.
Oh,
I
I'll read it for you.
screenshot. Yeah,
I
was
have
like,
it here.
Screenshot.
Yeah. I was like, oh god, I can't
Because
read
I watched
that.
it on my phone. Usually, if I try to screen record or screenshot on my phone, it doesn't allow me. But I was able to get it this time.
In your
Oh,
best
God.
like warning message, warning voice, would you like to read it for us? What it says?
I will try.
Okay.
Let's see.
Would you like my glasses?
It's okay.
You click on the short.
She just put her brightness all the ways up on her
You click
phone.
on the short, and it reads.
This program includes negative depictions and/or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. To learn more about how stories have impacted society, visit www.disney.com/storiesmatter. Your video will start in 0 seconds. I got it really at the end.
Just in time.
I'm not gonna lie, it took me a few minutes to be like, what was that about?
Yeah.
It caught me off guard too. I was like, whoa, what was that?
I was like,
write that down.
This. Yeah.
I got my phone, I went to the TV, and I was like, I can get all that.
I was like, I need this. I never saw that on any other.
Well,
Yeah.
Like,
I know they have them on other future shows. I didn't.
Yeah,
I know they have it on Dumbo.
Something
Peter
tells
Pan,
me
I
this
think.
is going to be the first of a couple times that we see this morning message, given the time period that we are in now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I this is going to be hard to discuss, but I like that they go this route rather than just removing it completely.
Yeah, I think it's important to acknowledge it and explain it.
It's okay to admit this was wrong, but it's also just what was done.
Yeah.
And you don't have to ignore
Yeah.
and pretend that it didn't happen,
Right,
because
that's worse.
Worse, exactly.
Yeah.
You can say, this was bad, we don't support it, but it's important to show why it's bad.
Well, once you start just taking things out, it's like it never happened.
Exactly.
And then it's like, I feel like it's just as bad at that point because you're like forgetting in a sense, like, or you're not teaching the youth or whatever.
Yeah,
and
and you're also taking away from the fact that like at that time that probably did affect like that marginalized group, and so now you're saying, well, we didn't do that, and it's like
just kidding.
Yeah, and that group is like, well, yeah, you did though.
You're
right,
not taking responsibility and admitting it was wrong. You're just saying, oh no, we didn't. That never happened.
Yeah,
and it's in a way it's like gaslighting. That never
Yeah.
happened, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of streaming services will just flat out cut things out that are.
I think that they do that more so because they don't want to have to deal with the responsibility of like using it as an educational platform.
Mm-hmm. And I think this might be a little easier for Disney to do because it's their content.
Yeah.
With Hulu and Netflix, it's not theirs, so like to just like speak for another show is kind of hard to do.
Like Comedy Central doesn't play
certain
the
scenes of The
Diversity
Office.
Day episode. Like they won't play it.
Yeah.
So it's like I get it, but like I don't know, I watch it on Peacock. But anyway, but like I get it, but like when I saw it when it skipped, because I was like, oh, they're skipping.
Yeah.
I wonder why, and then I was like, do I really wonder why? You know,
Yeah.
it's just like to skip it all together. I guess it's different when it's like something like that. Maybe. Not really.
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't know.
But this one is released on July 9th, 1939. Rated TVG though, even with that.
Well, because back then no one gives.
Well, even with that, but
change the ratings, can they?
they can, but they also have the pack. Well, I don't know about this. So, in addition, and a message comes up saying that it contains tobacco depiction. I don't remember any tobacco depiction in this at all. I don't know if that was an error, but like it definitely came up twice when I watched it.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I don't remember.
I don't know. But with a runtime of 8 minutes and 47 seconds, directed by Clyde Geronimi, animation by Preston Blair, Lars Colonius, Chester Cobb, David Hilberman, Al Eutzer, Ed Love, Paul Satterfield, and Norman Ferguson. Oh, 2 more. Sorry. Claude Smith and Frank Orb.
How dare you forget a Smith?
Frank
Or an orb.
Oh, man. And an orb. Voice work by Clarence Nash and Lee Miller. We open up with the warning screen that we mentioned before. And this is where we also get the tobacco depiction, which I don't know where it is. We then actually open up with Donald on a beach. He's setting up an umbrella, and he's laid out a blanket full of food. Did he come with Pluto?
I don't think he came with Pluto.
So he just came by himself and brought all this food for himself?
Donald's hungry.
Bro, there was like a full 8 sliced cake and just for him.
Ever heard of leftovers?
Yeah.
You bring your leftovers.
Maybe
to
they were
the
meeting
beach?
there.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
I think you're being a little judgy.
I just
on
don't.
the food
No,
intake.
it was not even so much the food. I just didn't know.
Maybe
if
it was Saturday or Sunday.
I just couldn't figure
Maybe
out.
it was football.
I just couldn't figure out if he came with Pluto or not.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, once everything's set up, he decides to take a dip in the water. He takes his blown up horse float named
Seabiscuit.
This horse.
Is it a seahorse or is it just a horse in the sea?
I think it's a seahorse type.
Well, it
thing.
didn't look like a seahorse, but it was a horse in the sea.
It didn't look like a horse.
It didn't look like a seahorse.
It looked like something from the Backyardigans.
It did.
It was very whatever that was. It was confusing. Some type of sea object, I guess.
Whatever it was, I didn't enjoy that whole scene.
Oh my
with
god!
It was
goes
so
on
annoying.
forever.
The back and forth with the floaty just seems so
I
unnecessary.
was like, what the fuck is going on?
With two
and
of
doesn't
them.
it ever run out of air?
Clearly not. Well, he throws Seabiscuit into the water.
And Seabiscuit's not having any of Donald.
No, Donald tries to jump on top of him, and he can't jump on top of him. He tries a couple times, and he falls off every time.
Whoa. Easy there. No, it's a fucking floaty. Although...
Yeah?
It can be kind of hard to get on a floaty in a pool. Like if you climb on from
Speaking
the
from
water.
experience there?
You know when you're trying to like wedge it between you, like to like float,
And
and
just
it's just like it's bobbing around. You're trying to get it in the right spot, and then there's too much in the front, not enough in the back, and you're like, you know,
Yeah.
That's when you go like backwards ass first, and you start to tip backwards.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
It's like the lazy river. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like honestly, all pool floaty like things, they're embarrassing for everyone. There's no graceful way to do any of that.
No.
Ever. But
over
whatever.
It's true.
over on the edge of the beach, Pluto is sleeping with water brushing up against his face as he snores.
I'm like, is he drowning?
I know. I
started
was like,
to.
this seems irresponsible, but okay.
But more importantly, he's minding his own business. He's
Yeah.
just sleeping on the beach.
As he
That's
often
true.
does.
Did
He
he-
often is minding his own business.
Did he pick a poor spot to sleep? Maybe. But
You know, maybe
Water-
it's been a while. The tide goes up and down.
yeah, the tide keeps coming up and it keeps hitting him in the face, and he snores and he starts gargling and choking on water and almost die. The water does wake him up though, and Donald just, hey, fuck this dog. Like he just sends the Seabiscuit over towards Pluto, and Pluto thinks the float is laughing at him, even though it's Donald. I don't know. Yeah.
This poor dog.
Pluto tries to sneak up on the float in the water. But every time he gets close to it, it lets out some air out of its nozzle.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's hissing at him. So, as horses do. This goes on for a really long time. Seabiscuit and Pluto just like dance around a rock, and keeps hissing at Pluto. Pluto keeps getting afraid.
It reminds me of Mystery from
Mystery, wait my head.
Yeah.
Pluto keeps getting scared by Seabiscuit. He even jumps high into the air because it sneaks up on him from behind. And Donald just loves all this. He's just laughing at Pluto's
Such
misfortune
a
the
dick.
whole
Such
time.
a dick. Meanwhile,
Well, before we even get there, Pluto then has like a fight with the float where he's trying to drown the float underwater. And it keeps popping up and hitting him in the face. This goes on for like 5 minutes. It just keeps popping up and clocking him in the face. Finally, Pluto bites the nose of the horse, and he inflates with air. And he blows all around the beach until he let all the air out, and he crashes into like a shipwrecked ship. Not sure why.
casual.
Yeah, on the beach.
On every beach, you know.
Yeah. And then...
Meanwhile.
Here we go. All right. So we see an ant who has his face painted resembling an indigenous person. He crawls his way through the blades of grass searching for food, and he's found Donald's picnic from before.
With very stereotypical music playing in the
Yes,
background.
there is a drum beat going on in the background. And
Kind of on a side note, though, does anyone ever feel like the way that they depict, like, picnics and the food at picnics in cartoons is, like, so unrealistic?
Yeah, well,
like,
who's bringing that kind of stuff
Yeah.
to a picnic?
and it's beautiful.
I would never bring
And
like a
it's-
full pie.
I know.
to be
and it's
sitting
like-
on sand.
And
Come
it's
on.
always just, like, so much food, and it looks so delicious, and I'm like, wow. And I have never once been to a picnic that has even remotely resembled any of
I
that
bring
stuff.
like warm grapes.
fake.
Yeah,
We-
and like I never have like the cute picnic basket. I never
I
have
do
the
have a cute picnic
see
basket,
like
by the
you're,
way.
but like I don't have like the red and white checkered tablecloth. Like none of that stuff.
we should have a picnic and record.
That'd be so fun.
I feel like I don't. Like
I don't know if I want to sit in the
outside.
grass, but I'll try. The thing that was confusing me about this was why was all that necessary? Couldn't just regular ants? Ants
Yeah.
couldn't have just like, you know what I mean? So it's like at the time I'm not great with history.
I hate to say this, but I feel like they just thought it was funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, was there something going on that, like, in the world at the time that, like, that was why they did that?
I mean,
but
it reminds...
if it was just for humor back then,
I mean, something similar is years later with Peter Pan, with
Yeah.
in that film too.
Yeah.
But all right. So the ant finds Donald's picnic, and he calls out to the rest of his tribe in a very tribal way.
wearing...
In a very stereotypical tribal way.
In a very stereotypical tribal way.
They were just shown as regular ants at first, weren't they?
I couldn't tell.
Okay.
Because it was far away. They might have just been, but but I do know that they came out of their anthills, which sort of resembled.
Teepees?
Is that okay? You gotta help me.
Well, that's what they are.
Okay, they resembled teepees.
Which were not really what was used, but anyway.
Right. And then all the ants, they storm the picnic, grabbing all the food that they can to
I mean,
steal.
to be fair, I would have stolen all that food too.
Leave it unattended. It's up for grabs.
Like, hello. I mean, and also when you think about it, not indigenous people themed ants, but just like ants.
Right, they
if
go
you
to
see
food.
all that food, like, hello.
That's what they're going to do.
I'm going to freaking eat that food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care who you are. I would eat that food.
Yep.
We also get some not necessary marching around
Yeah.
the pie as it's been. You get where I'm going with this.
Yeah, we don't need to we just refer to them as ants at this point. Like they're ants doing ant
But
things.
they did form a whole ass sandwich from scratch.
Yes, they did.
They didn't just steal the
But didn't that
the
sandwich look
ingredients.
pretty disgusting?
It was sloppy.
It was so sloppy. And I know
Yeah.
they're small. Like the ingredients were so large compared to those tiny ants. But like, what a mess.
It also
what an
seems
embarrassment.
like counterproductive. Just make it back at home base. Like they formed the sandwich here, they
And then
like,
you, like,
and they
carry
carried
it.
the whole sandwich. It was
I
like huge.
guess.
Yeah. They threw a bunch of shit on there too. Just
Lot.
everything.
So many layers.
Yeah. Well, Donald finally sees what's going on, and he tries to stop them by diving face first into a pie. He finds flypaper, and
thinks this will work for the ants.
well, actually, I didn't include this because this doesn't really pertain to it. But the flypaper gag is actually a reoccurring gag for Donald in these shorts. It happened in a couple, I think, in one previous one. Yeah, we didn't see it, but he also battles with flypaper in that one as well.
Does he use it for flies?
I don't know what he
Its
uses
intended
it for.
purpose?
Yeah.
Or...
It's not that smart.
I know, right?
Well, he throws flypaper down on the ground to try to catch them if they return. Inside the cake that was laid out on the spread of food, a slice comes out, and we see that the original ant who called everybody is left behind.
Right.
He tries.
And he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna take this cake.
He's
Screw you, Donald. I'm taking the cake."
He takes a slice of cake and he's gonna carry it all by himself.
Yep. Well,
And he actually gets away from Donald.
well,
Donald doesn't see him.
because ants can carry, I think it's like 100 times their body weight.
Yeah,
That's
something
really
like
impressive.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Donald doesn't see him taking the slice of cake away. It's Pluto who stops him.
Yeah. But I think Pluto was just more curious. He was like, "Holy shit, an ant."
Yeah. So the ant bumps into Pluto's nose, which causes him to drop the cake. So he didn't even get any food out of this. And he starts to run away, but Pluto is like chasing him, but not
He's just
really.
sniffing.
He's just sniffing behind him, trying to figure out like the way dogs are with bugs. If they just, or like your dog at least, he just kind of like sniffs behind him and doesn't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Donald sees the ant heading his way though, with Pluto trailing behind. So he lays out a piece of flypaper to try to trap the ant on the paper. But the ant is smart enough to go underneath the paper, and Pluto is not as smart. He keeps sniffing, and his nose gets stuck on the flypaper.
He's a dog. Dumb dog.
And then just from here on out, it's just physical comedy with the flypaper gets stuck on his nose, then on his paw, then on his ear, then on his foot, then on his butt.
Butt stuff.
Butt stuff again. He tries biting it off his butt, but it snaps back and swings to the other side of his face. He tugs so hard on it, though, that he flies backwards and he crashes into Donald, who has been laughing at Pluto this whole time as he battles.
Jerk.
Well, he gets what's coming to him because Donald and Pluto, they get really close with each other and they get butt to butt with each other and they're stuck together now.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, they're butt to butt. That just really made me laugh when like they both were like tushy to tushy.
You know what they turned into? It's like
Cat dog?
Yeah, cat dog.
Duck dog.
Duck dog. Yeah.
Duck dog.
Pluto flings Donald off his butt, and he crashes into a whole pile of flypaper, which effectively bondages him up from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
a
like
Donald burrito.
Yeah, he's like a straitjacket. He can't move his arms or his legs. And the short comes to an end with Pluto getting in free licks to Donald's face. He can do nothing about it except angrily quack. And,
Quack, 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 quack.
Yeah.
Which is the usual for him.
And that's how it ends, of course, with Donald just angrily quacking.
So did the ants get any food?
I think they made away with a decent amount.
I'd like to think so too.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
I thought
somebody
this
won.
one was cute, minus the,
I just think, like I was saying before, it's another one where like there's not really much substance to it. It's just Donald and Pluto.
Yeah.
More so Pluto this time, just going through physical torture for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And Donald laughs.
I mean, it was,
Donald's such a little
it was
dick.
cute. It could have done without the whole ant
Yeah, because
depiction. Like, why?
Yeah.
you're right though, because it wasn't like the joke would have still been fine if it was just ants coming in.
Yeah,
to
like
steal.
it wasn't relevant in any way.
Yeah.
I can say.
Donald Duck in Sea Scouts. So the title right off the bat, it's actually a parody of the recently formed Sea Scout. Well, not recently now, recently then. Sea Scouts, formed by the Boy Scouts of America in 1908. It was a program ages 13 to 20 that emphasizes on building nautical skills before eventually moving on to lending and teaching other younger Sea Scouts those same skills. Oh, the only other note I have here is the shark. This is his second appearance.
Mm-hmm.
He appears in a Silly Symphony, which this isn't a Silly Symphony, but they
Yeah.
reuse him, called Peculiar Penguins, which...
So we didn't
We
see
didn't
that
see
one.
No, we didn't see it either. That's why it didn't look
It
familiar.
kind
I
of
know.
looks like the shark from The Little Mermaid.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a
I
different
thought the
color.
shark didn't look very scary. And didn't also really look like a shark to me.
What do
Okay.
you look like?
I don't know. I think the hat was maybe throwing me off.
Well, to be fair, that wasn't his hat.
I was like, what's happening? Like, yeah, so I missed that part. I had to actually rewind back because when Donald took the hat, I'm like, no, you're giving him more ammo. And then I was like, did I miss something? Because it's not common.
I don't get.
Uncommon for me
I
to
don't.
miss something.
I don't understand what the deal is with the hat. It reminds me of like a Napoleon hat.
It reminds me of like
I guess it's just
Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah,
in
like-
some weird
Yeah,
way.
He's
Reminds me
captain
of, like,
of the ship.
Okay.
You get a captain hat.
Aye, Captain.
Released on June 30th, 1939, rated TV PG with a runtime on Disney Plus of 8 minutes and 17 seconds. Directed by Dick Lundy. Animation by Art Moore, Preston Blair, Johnny Cannon, Larry Clemens, Walt Clinton, Jack Hanna, and Ed Love. Voice work by Clarence Nash. We open up with Commander Donald instructing his nephews to row their boat. They're in a tiny boat here, and then it just like fast forwards them in a regular sized boat. So like, was their boat just like chilling in the water somewhere, and they had to like go out to it? Is that like
That's
how that works?
usually what happens.
You
with
don't
a
like
ship.
dock it anywhere?
With a ship, usually like
Don't you just throw the thing over the side?
the anchor.
Yeah.
So you just leave your boat just
Usually,
chilling out there?
usually
I
a
don't know.
ship.
Yeah. Okay,
The ship will stay out there.
A ship stays out there because it's too. It's too shallow to dock.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't. It'll scrape the bottom.
Oh, I
But-
see. Okay.
So you have to like.
Leave
So
it
you have
out
to
there.
leave
take
it.
smaller transportation.
If you were, if you're just
Yeah.
going to a beach, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. On deck of the regular ship, the boys salute Donald as he just takes his time strolling and marching around on the deck with his head held high. Up above on the, I think I remember this, it's the mast.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Do I need
fuck.
to get out?
I know
Behind
not
They need to
again.
stop with these boats and these ships because I don't pick this up
Wait,
at all.
so the mast is the front of the boat?
No, the mast
No,
is
the
the
mast-
giant.
The
Oh
sail.
yes.
Yeah.
The sail. But on top of the mast, there is a seagull with a fish in his mouth, and Donald is like nervous already, and he takes one step from underneath him. And that's it for the seagull. I thought this was gonna like come back to play somehow, like a joke, but
But
he
it
just
doesn't.
sees the seagull, he steps out of the way, and that's it for the seagull.
Huh.
The boys are sleeping on the job until Donald wakes them up and tells them to hoist the anchor, and they hoist. Problem is though that the anchor is caught on like a ledge, I guess you would say, underneath the water.
Like a ledge.
I don't know what you call it. Rock, terrain. It's caught on.
Maybe reef.
Reef. Okay. It's caught under on a reef, and it causes the wheel to spin. I already forgot what the wheel of the
The
ship is
helm.
called. The helm. Okay.
I forgot everything. Too,
Yeah,
don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and listen again. But it gets stuck on that, and the helm, whatever you call it, whatever
It's
you
the
want.
helm.
I hope
Okay.
there's no more boats after this.
It
short.
causes the helm to spin out of control, and the boys go flying. So Donald thinks that they just suck at this, so he decides to take matters into his own hands, and he's gonna pull the anchor up himself. He fails though as well because he keeps getting hit in the face by the helm. Mm-hmm. As it spins back at him, it's also caught underneath as well.
Wait, what are you referring to?
When they're trying to hoist the anchor.
That thing is spinning? That's not the helm. The helm is the big
Well, what's this wheel called?
I don't know, but the helm is what you use to steer the ship.
Oh, so I can call this one wheel?
Yes.
Okay. The wheel gets caught then. He regroups and decides to try again, and this time he's able to spin the wheel. But instead, the whole front of the ship dips in the water and goes underneath. But he doesn't realize what's going on at first, and he sees fish flying around and turtles around. He just thinks they're flying fish and flying turtles. Finally, he does realize, though, that his ship is underwater. He has not pulled the anchor up. So he starts to spin the wheel backwards the other way to bring the boat back up to the surface. And when it does so, it launches Donald into like the flags of the ship. And they kind of wrap around his body, and he looks like a fortune teller.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like a 10-second thing.
Yeah.
Not even.
I guess they thought it was funny. I don't know.
How dare you?
I guess they thought it was funny.
Didn't get a laugh out of me or whatever. The boys are snickering about this, though. They think it's funny, and he orders them back to work. This one I know what it's called because they named it. They pull the boom up.
Yes.
Okay. But Donald notices that the boom is tangled and tells them to lower it back down so it can get untangled.
Yep.
So their way of doing this is just to let go and let it drop on Donald's head.
Yeah, and then he goes, what did he say?
He had a snarky
Something
comment. It was
about
something funny.
Taking it too literally.
Oh, they take me too literally sometimes.
Yeah, that's
and
for
I was
true,
like,
Donald.
I mean,
That's pretty true.
I'm a very literal person, so I get it, but okay.
Donald also decides he's going to do this by himself as well. He pulls the boom up correctly this time, but a strong gust of wind, it ends up like dislodging the boom from the ship, and it goes flying out to sea, and the rope that it brings with it ends up getting tangled around Donald's foot this time, not his neck, and it pulls him high into the sky with it.
Yep.
I wrote here, Donald manages to have more success than Kite Tails because it doesn't crash at all. It stays up in the air a pretty decent amount of time. I kept waiting for it to crash, though. And I was like, Kite Tails! But he does see that his captain hat, it fell into the water underneath him.
Yeah, and he's very upset.
But it's being circled by a shark. The boys lower Donald back down. And as he's being lowered, the hungry shark is now wearing the hat.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, how did that shark even get the hat on his head? Like,
it just
Yeah.
just like,
floated. Yeah,
like what the F? Whatever.
He's
Anyway.
got it on his head, and his mouth is wide open, waiting for Donald to be lowered into his mouth.
That's how I eat, too.
Just for reference, we all just looked up at the ceiling with our mouth wide open, like
Like a bunch of baby birds.
Yeah,
Donald is being lowered into his mouth, and but he's able to pull himself back out before the shark chomps down on him. He pulls himself higher and higher up on the rope, but he's not looking where he's going. So he eventually pulls himself up too high, and he bonks his head on the boom, as it's called.
He booms his head on the boom.
He boomed
on the
it.
boom. The trio grabs a tiny rowboat, the one that we saw from the beginning, to try and save Donald. Which I thought was actually nice of them. They don't usually. They would.
Well, I guess they don't want him to get eaten by a shark because they clearly know nothing about
Yeah,
sailing.
they
So what the hell are they
wouldn't
gonna
get
do?
They're stuck at sea.
Yeah.
They also bring with them a life preserver. Donald jumps, and the shark comes back up and scares the boys away. But Donald is able to grab his hat, though, from the shark, and he swims away from the shark as it chases him. The shark even gets the life preserver like in his mouth with Donald still in it.
Yeah.
And when he bites down, it like propels Donald forward, and he smashes into the side of the boat. I thought this is actually kind of like uncharacteristic.
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 Yeah, there's no L in there.
Uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right.
Perfect.
That
Yeah.
doesn't sound right though.
Well, it is.
it is.
I didn't think this was like Donald. It was
Out of
unlike
character for Donald.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
He gains the courage to fight the shark.
Mm-hmm.
He like charges full
Yeah, I
speed.
thought that was not a Donald thing to do either.
No,
yeah.
he charges full speed, and they meet in the middle, and Donald just cold clocks the shark and knocks him out.
Yeah, I was like, damn,
He
you go,
seems
Donald.
to be like old talk, but then never, yeah.
Yeah.
They do say you are supposed to like punch a shark in the
Right in
nose
the nose, yeah.
if you
That
like
right
it's
in the right
attacking you.
spot. He was
So-
like, bing.
I don't really know how accurate that is.
I know. Well, I feel like it's better than nothing.
I mean, if I ever find myself in that situation, that's probably what I'm going to end up doing.
I mean, like, if I ever find myself in that situation, I'm poking that fucker in the eye.
Sure,
just
Because I
gouge
feel
its
like
eyes.
that's probably going to do more damage than punching him in the cartilage.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't know. Like, I mean, think about it. Like, the eye is probably the weakest part of the shark, right?
The eye is the groin of the head.
Yeah.
This is why I don't go in the water.
or you just don't go in the ocean.
Yeah.
But he
What
knocks.
about land sharks?
Ooh.
Alex is like, no.
He knocks the shark out though, and the short comes to an end. Not Donald angry this time though. He's instructing the boys to row with the SS Rear Admiral Life Preserver
Yeah.
stuck on his ass.
Yep. And it was on there
And the
for what
camera-
felt like so long,
Yeah.
You
right?
have the cartoons of that circle fade.
Yeah.
It like fades on his
On his
ass.
ass.
Like-
Yeah. Gotta end on butt stuff.
yeah.
That thing was stuck to his ass for so long.
Yeah.
So long. And he was able to really, like, I don't know, you would think if something's like your butt, just your tush, is stuck through something like that, how much can you really do?
Yeah.
But he made it work.
That's
he
just
did.
part of him now.
He must have liked it, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He likes the butt stuff.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I didn't see this ending coming. With Donald just deciding, like, fuck this shark, I'm gonna beat its ass. And
Yeah.
just punch it in the face.
I
That
agree.
kind of caught me off guard. And I think I like this one better than the other two just because,
It's different.
yeah, it was different, exactly. Huey, Dewey, and Louie actually felt like they were on Donald's side rather
Yeah,
than just,
they
like,
were.
tormenting him.
Mm.
Yeah. Does anybody got any other comments for this one?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
My favorite one was Ugly Duckling, though.
Yeah, that one
I
was
agree.
cute.
I like
I like
Ugly
the dog
Duckling.
show too. I really can't like complain too much this time. Usually there's always one that I'm like, I hate this, but none of these really gave me that.
No, even the ones I didn't
Yeah.
like, they were just kind of eh. They
Yeah,
didn't- they
like
didn't-
maybe wasn't my favorite, but I wasn't like, oh my god, what
Yeah.
is this gonna be over 4 more minutes? Oh my god, the longest 4 minutes of my life.
Sometimes I feel that way with the shorts. I like look at it and I'm like, oh my god, it's 9 whole fucking minutes.
Well, I usually always start the shorts. I'm like, okay, 9 minutes. This is supposed to be quick. 9 minutes and done. And then I'm like, oh my god, why aren't we done yet?
Yep.
It's usually the ones without the talking for me that I'm like,
Yeah, the Ugly
So is
Duckling.
it.
had
it's hard
no
for me to
talking.
like piece it together on my own. Like I need the that's just the way my brain works. Like I
Yeah.
need the
The words.
yeah. Like I'm not good with like leaving it to my own imagination. Like it could be like, you know, it's too much for me.
It's understandable.